Oh. Oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. I was just listening to the news about how the NIH is trying to figure out what long COVID is and why long COVID happens. It's quite severe. As I was listening to this, I was reflecting on another significant harm that COVID has caused on all people, not just those infected with COVID, is making people passive. By living in a virtual world, what is encouraged is passivity. We can't see people physically. We can't feel their energy. Meaningful Mornings is a check for us not to devolve into passivity. Meaningful Mornings is a workshop, is a community that encourages one to be active. For a student of a subjective science, there is no space for being passive. One has to be an active listener, an active reflector. And you're tuned into this. You're synced into this. Everyone is punctual. Everyone's cameras are on. Everyone's names are written. When I ask you to write in the chat, you do. I came across a lovely quote on active listening, which I shared last week. I'll read it out. One of the most sincere forms of respect is actively listening to what another has to say. Meaningful Mornings is a community that encourages respect and more. Chapter 7, verse 4, Sri Krishna explains that he is the source of the elements, particularly in a grossified form, that is our outer world. He is also the source of the elements in a subtle form, the mind and intellect, in a causal form, that is the ego. In verse 5, he shares, what I have shared is creation, yet I am the creator. Instinctively, when we come across such a teaching, we feel creation and creator are separate. But if we reflect on this more, the cause pervades the effect. Creation is infused with the creator. Are you with me? For most, this is not a new message. In our culture, we have a lovely visualization of the relationship between creation and creator, effect and cause. Ardha Nari Ishvara. We're an icon, a murti of half Bhagavati Parvati and half Bhagwan Shiva. This icon is trying to teach to us creation and creator are the same. Effect and cause are the same. Those who divide this are like asuras. An asura is one who has darkness inside. In other words, they are not reflective. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a seeker who sees Bhagwan Shiva and Bhagavati Parvati being close to each other. And he judges them, saying, you're supposed to be teaching others, yet you're so close to each other. And Bhagwan Shiva just smiles. But Bhagavati Parvati, she is not pleased with him and says, if you're going to think like an asura, you should become one. And he does. My point, if not caught, is to focus less on the division of creation, creator, effect, cause. How to do this practically. Vivek, stop using abstract words. Tell me what I'm supposed to do today. Serve creation, surrender to the creator. That is what is to be extracted from verse 5. When you serve creation, that automatically means you're not depending on creation. Which is why I've shared with all of you, before you serve, in whatever capacity, as a Balavar teacher or your profession, study is required. That way you serve, but you don't become dependent. And surrender to the creator. This notion of surrender comes out more strongly in verse 6. Etad yonini bhutani sarvani tyupadharaya aham kritsnasya jagataha prabhavav pralayastata. Etad, what I'm describing, yonini bhutani, this lower and higher, Prakriti and Purusha, this is the womb, or this is the way that all beings exist. So this is the translation. The implication of this first quarter is that the higher Prakriti, also known as Purusha, is the cause. The lower Prakriti, which is generally known as Prakriti, is the further cause. One cause, and then many causes. Unity, diversity. For those in Srimad Bhagavatam, those students, those in our course, Purusha would be Sarga, which is fundamental creation. And then Prakriti is Visarga, which is functional creation. All beings are facilitated by Prakriti, which is facilitated by Purusha. Are you with me? Sarvani iti upadharaya the foundation for all beings is creation creator, effect cause. Focused on the word sarvani, which means all, with no exclusivity. In our scriptures, there are 4 types of births for beings, from least complex to most complex. The least complex is moisture. Moisture is a foundation for beings, like bacteria, germs, and so on. More complex than that, seeds. So much of the vegetation that we consume, that we depend on, comes from a seed. More complex, eggs. Many animals, they're born through eggs, like a bird. And most complex is a womb, like that which humans come from. So when the word sarvani is used, please don't restrict this to humans. And I know our community doesn't. At the completion of our silence workshop last night, remarkably, it just keeps happening. Our community has now donated $25,740 towards planting 25,740 trees. I told all of the silence retreaters that this would happen out of faith, and it has. That's in addition to the almost 1,100 trees we've planted. So when Sri Krishna teaches sarvani, we know what he's teaching. Okay, are you ready for the second line? Wake up a little bit more. The second line is needing a lot of reflection. Aham kritsnasya jagataha. I am this creation, this multiverse, comprehensively, fully. This is experienced as prabhavaha, birth, pralayaha, death, or emergence and ending. That's the translation. Here are some reflections, because we feel quite comfortable with creation, creator, and so on. In Srimad Bhagavatam, I think I should just change meaningful mornings to Srimad Bhagavatam. There's a question on who is Narayana? Who is he? And the answer given is Ahetu. Ahetu, which means causeless. The lower way to reflect on this is that he has no cause, but the higher way to reflect on this, he doesn't cause. He does not cause. That means he is not the creator. And if he's not the creator, that also means there is no creation. Shall I ask, are you with me? But Charles saying, Vivekji, I'm right here. What do you mean there's no creation? I told you in advance, I should have said, I warned you in advance that this section of Bhagavad Gita is where you go away. There is no you. In our Upanishad, one of the fundamental teachings is Sat Eva Saumya Idam Agra Asit. Student. Saumya means a fresh student. Sat Eva. there is only existence. In the beginning, there is nothing but existence. Can existence change? If you have the notion of, yes, tell me how. Tell me how you are going to change existence. Is science going to create a machine? That machine exists. It is not possible. Life, which is of the nature of existence, awareness, joy, does not modify. Life is life, period. I see a lot of you. Your eyes went from bright to dull. Reflect, reflect, reflect. She, Nisargadatta, has shared, there is only life. There is no individuality who lives a life. And so what creation is for us right now is an appearance. I, you, we are an appearance. This appearance is of forms. This appearance is of names. An appearance. No creation, no creator, only consciousness. And Pujya Swami Tejamayana had shared, even saying, remember, he's teaching us, even saying that consciousness has an appearance on it is a compromise. How can consciousness have an appearance on it? How can infinity become the finite? Are you with me? We'll keep reflecting. From inspiration to application. Your application was to care about your appearance 50% less. Do you think I randomly made that up? See, if you care about your appearance 50% less, aren't you more in tune with consciousness? But it's shocking how much we care about our appearance. Last week, I think it was Thursday, I'd worn a blue shirt during our workshop. On Friday, I wore this typical white jacket. On Instagram, we had twice as many views when I was wearing a blue shirt as compared to a white jacket. Like Bhagavad Gita changed because of the blueness and the whiteness. How infatuated people are with appearance is shocking. Then they miss out on the content, correct? Your application for this morning, everything you touch with your hands, your feet, your cheeks, whatever, all contact you make, contact softly. Walk more softly, hold your steering wheel more softly, type more softly, contact softly. Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be joy.